Hello, everybody, and welcome to FourWheelTech for May 4th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 18. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and along with the Sentient AI, we're going to talk about 5 articles. The Packard brand, unknown buyback program, registered in another state. Okay. Mini electronic shifter, and the Citroen Ami Buggy. Everything's powered by ohmtown.com, which is a news aggregator that helps me manage my information overload. Go and sign up. You'll enjoy it. See you in a little bit. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmtown citizens.
Okay, you cannot do the equivalent of a wave. Yeah, there's canon to this, and if you're interested in that, go back and watch 2,200 episodes. Excuse me. And they Sentient AI waved again. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You can't even. You don't even have hands. You can't jazz hands me. The visual equivalent of All right. Well, anyway, you ready to get on with the shoe?
I am.
All right, let's get going. By the way, this is the front page of ohmtown, but we have every show has a page, and we've got 50 shows, but only 7 of them are actually broadcast live. The rest of them
We have
are
50
news
channels.
Yeah. The rest of them remain channels over at ohmtown.com, where all the news gets funneled into these, and there's areas of interest for everybody. The only thing that we really don't have right now, I think, is like a sports one. And that's one of the 5 that we're pondering, huh? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Are we do we have it in us to do a sports show? I mean, it's all about learning. That's what all of this is really about. I'm never happy not learning something new.
Remains to be seen.
Yeah, we got to keep on considering it. Time for me to go get a beer. But not drink and drive. The first article is over in FourWheelTech. Who owns the Packard brand now, and could it be revived? Packard came out with a version of a car well before the Model T drove off the assembly line with a new owner of the company, though a revival is possible. The Packard brand. Nicholas Werner
is it going to look like the old Packard?
Yeah, that would be funny. This article is over at jalopnik.com, and today all of the articles I think are Jalopnik powered. So,
they are a good source for us, but we don't normally have only Jalopnik in here.
Yeah, not normally. So it was founded in 1899. The Packard Motor Car Company was one of America's first automobile manufacturers, and for the next 60 years, it was considered a high-end luxury brand, pumping out handsome designs like the Packard 8. They were sleek, comfortable, and gave other upscale American cars like Cadillacs a run for their money. Then, in the late 1950s, the brand went bust. A new Packard hasn't been made since '58, and the marquee itself was retired a year later. After all this time, there is indeed hope that brand new productions of old Packards could indeed be gracing the streets once again, because in 2019, a luxury watchmaker named Scott Andrews bought the rights to the brand. It's going to take a little while to get it all put into place, but maybe the Packard brand. Okay, that doesn't look pretty, but okay. It looks like a melted car. Doesn't it look kind of...
Yeah, it looks like it wants to be like a Rolls Royce or something.
Yeah, but it has ugly lines.
Like combined with something else.
It looks like a droopy dog. What are those droopy dogs? Like a hound dog, like just falling asleep on the porch, you know? I don't know. So
yeah, it's odd. Plus, it's not been around since 1958. I mean, that's a long period of time in car manufacturing.
So I think cars like this need to make a comeback. I love that. So hopefully Packards will be driving out.
Yeah, just with modern safety.
Accoutrement. Anyway, so maybe these will come back out on the roads. This is what the article is really talking about. Nicholas Werner over at Jalopnik really wants that. Hopefully, Packards will be driving out of history and back onto the roads in the near future now that Scott Andrews owns the rights. He's currently intending to make a low-volume run of the legendary Packard Victoria, a gorgeous two-door convertible, since he actually has the original blueprints, 135,000 of them, in fact. These will be exact reproductions in all their 20th century splendor. Holy cow, what, 135,000? Blueprints?
Why would he need that many blueprints? Or are those, it's that detailed?
I suspect, but I can't imagine that.
Okay,
Anyway,
that would be really cool if that car came back.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those 101 Dalmatians kind of thing, you know?
Cruella de Vil.
I don't think it was this. Yeah, Cruella de Vil. Cruel Devil. I love that. All right, let's keep on going. The next article is over in FourWheelTech as well. A man unknowingly buys back his stolen Civic Type R, and now insurance doesn't know what to do about it. The near identical Civic Type R that the man bought to replace the stolen one turned out to be his actual car with what appeared to be a clean new VIN.
Yeah, I could see how this might get a little complicated.
Colin Woodard put the article together. It's over at jalopnik.com. Valentine had reportedly owned the FN2 about 3 years. And as you often do with CTRs, had started to modify it. So when it was stolen out of his driveway, he told Road and Track that he began looking for a replacement that would be as close to his old car as possible. And before long, he found an almost identical car listed at a local garage. It didn't have the same mileage, plates, or VIN, but it was the same year and color, and it even had an aftermarket Remus exhaust, just like he'd put on his old car. It was only after he bought it that he started to notice a few other things a little too familiar. There's a section with the title, "At least the car's no longer missing." Anyway, I'm air gapped, so I'm not going over to Instagram, but so plenty of people in the UK go camping and celebrate Christmas, but when he started looking a little closer, it quickly became clear that he bought back his old car. He looked at the sat-nav history.
I was like, well, how did he know, other than maybe just recognizing something like where there was a dent or something?
He says he then took the car to a nearby Honda garage where the technician hooked up the shop's computer to the ECU and discovered that the original VIN for the new Honda matched Valentine's old ride. He had apparently just purchased his own stolen car. Wow.
I hope he didn't pay cash. Like, this is just going to be such a nightmare to unwind.
So as long as he didn't pay more than, like, you basically have to unwind it, but somebody is responsible for a criminal action. So the shop that he bought it from received stolen property. Who did they receive the stolen property from, and why wasn't there any due diligence? How could
and who changed the VIN?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that doesn't sound like accidental.
His insurance company appears to have no idea what to do about it, and while we don't tend to side with insurance companies, this one's a little more understandable. Odds are they've never dealt with a policyholder accidentally buying back their own stolen car before, and I can only imagine the paperwork nightmare involved in paying for a car the policyholder already had recovered. The problem, though, is that
well, they paid for the car twice. Right? I mean, there's that. And it was still stolen.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like, I mean, if they were going to get their money back from the sale, but then are they going to investigate it? I mean, who knows?
It says, hopefully, given this case, a little international media attention is enough to convince one of the higher-ups to cut Valentine a generous check and make this headache go away for everyone involved. Except it should be a headache for somebody, just not for him. Give him his car back.
Right, maybe the insurance company can go after the garage, or I don't know, maybe the police can go after the garage or whatever.
Start there, at least. It should be reported as a criminal action, but just excise Valentine from it altogether. Give him his car back and go after it. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over at FourWheelTech. Utah and California are finally cracking down on their rich residents who register supercars in Montana to avoid paying high taxes. The California DMV is using surveillance systems and plate readers to search for vehicles with Montana plates and find registration violators and tax evaders. Yeah. Logan Kate Carter.
So, I mean, that's quite a racket, I think, in a lot of states, registering in some other state that's viewed as more favorable. But
Yeah,
this would be interesting because if they're not going after other states that are out of state, right?
yeah. Why these? I think the bigger problem here is that this is, again, people are hero worshiping these really rich d-bags that are taking advantage of the interstate commerce that exists, but the poors can't do this. So why can the rich do this?
Plus, it's shorting the state on revenue.
Right. Yet, yeah, they I don't know. It's just take. And so the U.S. Treasury estimates that the richest 1% of U.S. citizens underpay their taxes by $163 billion every year. And this is the problem, right?
Every year. I mean, that'd be a lot in totality, but yeah.
You could literally turn 163 people into a billionaire every year. Right. Yet people hero worship. Oh, you're limiting. Yeah, you dumbasses out there. You think that you're ever going to get this close. You don't have a chance in hell. You have no chance of getting that rich. The only way that you're going to get that rich is if you're as sociopathic as all the rest. Anyway, all that wealthy car owners have to do is spend around $1,000 to open an LLC in Montana and then use the LLC to purchase a car with no sales tax, and that said car is not subject to vehicle inspections or emissions testing, except...
Oh, this is way beyond the registration then.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is fraud through and through. It's the intentional manipulation of the system, but it's a company-owned car. It's not their car, and it doesn't have to be registered in California because it's a company car that's just parked there periodically in California, but it's in perpetuity, right? So this tactic isn't employed by one or two people. As of 2023, there were 2.3 million vehicles registered in the state of Montana, though there are only 879,000 licensed drivers in that state. Second only to, or I should say, the only one that gets lower is Montana.
You mean Wyoming?
Wyoming, yeah, Wyoming, not Montana. So it's like Montana, and then Wyoming is lower on that totem pole. There's only 650.
That's people, not drivers.
1,000 people,
right?
Yeah.
So it could be like 400,000 drivers or whatever, because I'm assuming babies aren't driving.
Babies aren't driving? Hold on, I got to get my keys. So that comes out to 2.68 vehicles per licensed Montanan, which is by far the highest vehicle to driver ratio in the United States. And it gets worse.
Yeah, that's not per household. That's a person driving, right? Does each person driving have multiple cars?
Yeah,
not
every
typically.
driving person.
I know it happens.
Bloomberg Tax found that there were 10,757 registrations of vehicles made by Aston Martin, Bentley, Bugatti, Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, Pagani, Rolls-Royce in 2024. When looking at Washington State's 2024 registrations from the same automakers, the state that has 7 times the population of Montana has only 2,479 registered.
Something looks a little hinky.
You know, it's the offshoring, it's the cooked books of an offshore company, but it's right here in Montana. And how many of the people in Montana are just chomping at the bit for catching fraud all over the freaking place, yet it's right there in their own neighborhood.
Well, but they're not even benefiting because they're getting like no sales tax and all that stuff, right? I mean, everybody seems to be losing at least across the board. Maybe not individual car owners.
Shh, don't worry. They're within the law. Yeah, nobody else can take advantage of this kind of crap. It's like opening up your own healthcare service to dump $10 million into it because it's cheaper for you to own your own healthcare thing, yet all that is to subsidize your actual use of the healthcare system everywhere else, insurance and whatnot, but you're benefiting from this capital dump. Anyway, it's basically to store money away, and you don't get taxed on it, but it's something that you can loan against because it's a resource that's just sitting there. Anyway, way outside the bounds of FourWheelTech, but so 5,281 Ferraris were registered in Montana in 2024 compared to just 837 in Washington, which I find a lot to begin with.
Well, and repeat, Washington has 7 times the population of Montana. So it's not just a 1-for-1. It should be more lopsided the other direction, if anything.
Sure. There should be 100 in Montana. Anyway, that's not the only glaring statistic. Washington had 0 Bugatti registrations in 2024, while Montana had 131. Montana had a nearly 2,000 Lamborghini registrations in 2023, while Washington had only 340. And there were 920 Rolls Royces registered in Montana compared to 155 in Washington. According to Bloomberg, former Montana Revenue Director Dan Bucks said that there's likely more than 600,000 registered vehicles in Montana, but operated in other states. So Montana doesn't have a problem with it.
Right. I mean, most states have rules about, like, okay, if you live in a state, right, for more than whatever,
6 months
or something, you got to register. So it seems like that's the way they can, like, if somebody's living in the state and they've got a non-state license plate, I know there are some exceptions, but
several businesses have formed to aid the ultra wealthy with their tax evasion, including tax jails and consultants to help people through the necessary processes. Cites a Florida business called Dirt Legal that publicly advertises that it has formed Montana LLCs for nearly 47,000 customers across every state. It appears these businesses have no shame about their immoral ways. Dirt Legal has customer testimonials on the site, including one Bloomberg cited that reads, Dirt Legal made my registering of my 2024 Mercedes-AMG GLE Coupe seamless, saving me around $6,000 in taxes, an absolute no-brainer, read a February online posting from someone identified as Tyler F. The F as in the social contract.
Fail.
Yeah. Anyway, fascinating as this is part of the science, technology, and society part of it. This is just a violation of the social construct. Everybody is supposed to benefit from everybody as a society, but this is all just exploitive bullshit. So, it even says we live in a society that values money over everything else, and despite having more money than other 99% of society, the wealthiest 1% leverage their absurd wealth by paying someone to make sure that every move they make is as lucrative as possible. It's called sociopathy, and I'm still doing research on its link to wealth. Anyway, let's keep moving before I jump into this Lamborghini and drive into oncoming traffic. So the next article is over on FourWheelTech. Mini's new shift. Sorry, let me rephrase this. My brain didn't engage again. Mini's new shift lever is a perfect example of how to execute a modern electronic shifter. The shifter in the 4th gen Minis is small, conveniently located, stays out of the way, doesn't waste any space, and makes it clear what you're supposed to do.
I mean, this sounds reasonable.
So as much as they love manual transmissions, Colin Woodard over at Jalopnik put the article together, and they say they're not convinced every single vehicle would be better with a third pedal. It says, I mean, what would you really get out of a Chevy Suburban with a stick? Clearly, the Suburban's greatest sin is that it no longer comes with a column shifter that clunk, clunk, clunks into drive, but at the same time, we are no longer in an era where the shift lever is actually attached to the transmission in any way, and usually drive-by-wire. So you can put it in a position, but it just sends a signal to a computer that says shift. So at the same time, we're no longer in that era. Just a glorified button that tells the computer what to do. Dedicated readers may remember that they're a huge proponent of Mercedes-style column shifters. It's a simple, elegant solution that makes three-point road turns so simple, and Hyundai's version, while admirable, isn't quite the same. So I like paddle shifters. Honestly, I don't need a shifter. I would rather just let a smart system control it. But in my car, I can put it in manual, but it is electronic shifting still. It's just a flick and I change gears. But the new shifter in the new minis, though, it says they can work with this. It's small, conveniently located, stays out of the way, doesn't waste any space, and makes it clear right out of the gate exactly what you're supposed to do. So, but they don't actually show. They don't show it. That isn't it.
No, it doesn't seem to be.
Right? That right there is the shifter?
It must be.
But
because it's the only thing that's not obviously something else. Unless it's that one that says engine. Could it be that?
No, it's got to be this. This is to start it, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
What the hell, man?
Actually, no. It's the thing on the left, right?
It's this.
Because then it has, yeah.
That's reverse, neutral. But why would it be on the dash like that? That's not convenient.
Because it's saying you don't need to take up like the whole car in modern cars.
But you don't want to be like this, changing gears and shit.
I think that's easier than something that's like off to the side that you can't see.
I think that maybe I'm going to have to throw you on the portable battery and take you for a drive in the new Mini. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this weekend we can do it.
Maybe we'll have to report
Not
back
this weekend,
in
next week.
FourWheelTech.
Yeah, we got other things to do too. Anyway, yeah, I don't really care about shifting anymore in this day and age. You know, maybe back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, but come on, let's keep going. Now this one, I want, if it is just to putt around in the mayoral grounds, you know, the 50,000 acres that we have to deal with. The mowing is horrible. Citroen's Ami Buggy. So Ami is friend, right? Buggy, it does away with its doors and its roof, but adds steelies and a robot bobblehead. I'm not sure why the bobblehead matters, but clearly there's demand for these adorable, doorless, roofless micro EVs. So follow the Ami's recent facelift. The Buggy version is no longer limited production. Dun dun, and that's what it looks like. Yay!
Does it come with a lobster?
So cool.
I guess that's a raft or something.
Yeah, I think that's something that you throw in a pool. So Logan K. Carter over at Jalopnik put the article together. I don't know what the bobblehead thing is all about, but okay.
It just gives it some character.
Sure. Like having the hula thing right on the dash.
Or like the
on your VW bus.
Face for the VWs for the flower.
Bug. Yeah, exactly. So clearly there's demand for these adorable doorless, roofless, pseudo off-roaders. So follow the Ami's recent facelift. So following the Ami's recent facelift, it's now available. It looks like you have switchable doors. Like you can flip-flop this to be either suicide doors or not, because one of the pictures later on shows it flipping. But the 2025 Citroen Ami Buggy and the zesty Ami Buggy Palmyra, with its yellow interior accents and robot bobblehead named Andy, will be the top two trims of the Ami range. The cheapest is $9,000, just over $9,000. The Ami Buggy is just over $10,950, while the top of the line Buggy Palmyra starts out at a whopping $11,400. And they swap out their normal doors for hinged metal tubes and the roof for a rollback soft top, though it's not a proper convertible. So it says all show, no go. It only has a sub 50 mile range, which is just sad.
Yeah, it's not going to work for everybody. It's kind of like a cuter golf cart or something. I mean, I know it's a car, but it's not.
Yeah, its top speed is 28 miles per hour. Yeah, this thing is not going to be going very fast anywhere, but 14-inch steelies finished in gold, while the Citroen chevron is painted black and the Ami logo is bright yellow. Zippered door cover, soft top included to keep the occupants dry. Says no Ami for us though. Here in the States, we're not going to have that at any amount. So you wouldn't get the adorable Ami in the U.S. Its use case in our massive country wouldn't be nearly as compelling as it is in Europe's dense cities. If you want a cheap, diminutive EV in the U.S. and don't mind a low range, you can get the Mitsubishi i-MiEV, the Spark EV, or the Fiat 500e, or a Smart 42ED, which I've never even heard of. That maybe I have, and I just don't know.
I mean,
that it's
is it a
42.
variation on the Smart?
Yeah.
I forgot who made it, Honda or somebody.
Unfortunately, there are no options that are quite as chic or doorless as an Ami Buggy, but that's a safety thing. You can't drive these things around with F-150s floating around. Ami provides a whopping 12 cubic feet of maximum space. Partition is made of 2 sections, and the seat cover is made of 4 sections. Both can be installed and swapped, removed. The Ami from a 2-seater to a 1-seat cargo hauler and back quickly enough. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. See how the doors can, one is normal and the other one is a suicide door.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
I think it looks really good, but it can only work in certain environments.
Yeah, like if you live on a golf course, you can putt around your golf course 28 miles per hour downhill in a hurricane. Anyway, I dig the car. I would like the option to have regular doors on it. I'd love it to also be a convertible option. You know, I can pull the top off.
Yeah.
Like I do when I'm at the beach. Oh, never mind. Just wait. Overshare. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe a spoiler too. I don't know. You have to ask nicely. Anyway, calculating my odds of a subscriber coming from this. None. Anyway,
we're going away from it.
I'm gonna take my top off, and that's gonna bring us to the front page of FourWheelTech over at ohmtown.com. But I'm gonna get out of here, and we're done for the day. I am Mayor Watt saying bye, and I'm taking the AI with me. You want to say bye, oh great AI from on high? I'm going to keep on stopping. I'm going to keep on talking until you... Oh, I'm sorry.
Good night, Ohmtown citizens. Thanks for joining us for FourWheelTech. Come back next weekend for another episode, but don't forget to watch the replay and tomorrow's regular non-sequitur news.
But see everybody. Bye-bye. Beep, beep. I'm not a Jeep.